What's going on, everyone? So there's been a lot of talk of Brandon Ingram to the Lakers. Now, this primarily stems from the Clutch news, right? Brandon Ingram signing with Clutch. Obviously, LeBron James, as well as Rich Paul, is going to spark and skyrocket the rumors. I even talked about it in that video where he signed with Clutch. So get ready for like an abundance of Brandon Ingram to the Laker news. You saw that even the betting odds skyrocketed. Lakers immediately became the number one destination for Brandon Ingram. And you just consistently hear all these reports from all these various insiders and stuff that like Brandon Ingram is a legit target. There's even talks about them already kind of having the preliminary discussions. Now, again, that's just essentially the phone call, right? That's just like, hey, what are you looking for Brandon Ingram, right? Like, it's nothing crazy, but you're already starting to hear the talks kind of ramp up of like, hey, Brandon Ingram to the Lakers is probably down the pike. It's going to happen at some point. However, there is a report that says the opposite. So Jake Fisher believes that that's not going to be the case, that they are not even really interested in Brandon Ingram. So, according to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the Lakers are whispered often by scouts as a trade destination for the New Orleans Pelicans forward, but there isn't any indicator or indication that the team is actively looking to acquire him. The Los Angeles Lakers are focusing front court help as well as perimeter defense to assist stars LeBron James and Anthony Davis per Fisher. Ingram recently joined Clutch Sports Group after leaving Excel Sports Management per ESPN. Shams, Rich Paul, and the CEO of Clutch Sports also represents James and Davis, which is where you get that from, right? Again, the reports came out. But according to Jake Fisher, there's no indications, no indicators that the Lakers are even really interested in Brandon Ingram. However, that's usually how the Lakers go, right? Like Rui, right? That's how I got my, Lakerdamus nickname, right? That's just kind of like a running joke, right? Because there was no news or thoughts or anything about Rui Hachimura. There weren't even reports. I mean, at least there's reports about Brandon Ingram potentially going to the Lakers, right? But like with Rui, there was nothing. And I was just like scouring, like, okay, well, what fits a need and who's somebody that's probably available? Oh, Rui Hachimura, right? Wizards don't want to pay him. They want to move him, right? There's not really any talks about it outside of like Wizards reports, right? Let's talk about Rui. Boom. All of a sudden, Rui gets moved, like literally like 2 hours after I make the video. And then like D'Angelo Russell, right? We knew that the Timberwolves wanted to trade D'Angelo Russell, but there were no links to the Lakers. And then they pull off the trade, and boom, all of a sudden he's a Laker, right? Like, Lakers do have a usual time. Like, same breath, there have been a lot of trades that have happened that were heavily rumored, heavily speculated, and ended up actually happening. I mean, even the Utah trade as a whole, right? Like, we knew, like, that was talked about for like a year before it happened, right? Like, so it wasn't like crazy when Utah ended up trading. It was just some of the pieces, right? When they got D'Angelo Russell, and then, because originally it was like Rudy Gay, Malik Beasley, and Mike Conley. They didn't want to give up Jared Vanderbilt or anything like that, and then we ended up getting Vando and D'Lo and all that stuff. But look, I think that there's at least interest. Again, obviously I don't know. I'm not an insider. I'm not a reporter. I'm just a fan like the rest that just takes the news, relays the news, and then creates fun conversations. Gives my opinion. That's why I always ask for yours, which let me know down in the comments. But you got to at least have initial interest, right? Because Brandon Ingram does make sense. I worry about the fit a little bit. However, LeBron James is having his lowest usage season. I know his usage has been higher lately, but a lot of that has been, D'Lo was out game or two, and then Austin Reeves missed 4 games or whatever, right? Like, so LeBron's got to be more on ball. But like Brandon Ingram in that Austin Reeves role, the Lakers would be so much better. Like, Brandon Ingram's just better. He's bigger. He's longer. He's a better natural scorer, right? I worry about him playing off ball, but Austin Reeves is on ball more than he's ever been in his career, right? So like Brandon Ingram could get the 15, 17 shot attempts that Austin Reeves gets on any given night, right? Like, so and I think it puts LeBron in a position where he doesn't have to work as hard. He doesn't have to do so much. You can slot. The beauty of Brandon Ingram too is you could slot him pretty much any position that you want because of his size and his length. He can defend 1 through 4. He's got a 7-3 wingspan. On some nights, he could even defend the 5, if he gets switched on him, right? So he's a guy that helps out on the perimeter. It's a guy that gives you, 23, 5 and 5, 23, 6 and 6, right? The Lakers could use that desperately. Right now, does he give you that same type of production being the third guy on the Lakers? Probably not. But if he's an 18, 5 and 5 on efficiency, right? If he's say he gives you 18 points on, 38% from 3 and, 55% from the floor, that's much different. Plus, he gives you the athleticism, he gives you the rebounding, he gives you the playmaking, right? It changes the landscape. And on any night, if you need him to, go get you 30. Right? I mean, Brandon Ingram just had a 21-point quarter not that long ago, right? So again, that's the difference. Austin Reeves, you can't count on him. You don't know what Austin Reeves you're going to get. You don't know what Austin Reeves is going to show up. Are you going to get the Austin Reeves that gives you 25 tonight? Or are you going to get the Austin Reeves that gives you 5? Right? With Brandon Ingram, even on a bad night, he's giving you 15. Even on a bad night, you're getting something. And he gives you flexibility, right? Because one, he's going to be due a new contract, and he's making $36 million, right? I don't see him getting anywhere close. I think he'll probably get $30 million. Now, reports have came in that he might be willing to do a shorter deal, but max on a 3-year deal, right? So $120 million 3 years. I still don't think teams bite because I don't think it's about the years for him. I think it's about the money, right? So if you can get him for $30 million a year, I think you're in good shape. You clear $6 million off your books naturally just by him taking $30 million, right? LeBron James can fudge his numbers any way he wants, right? He could take a vet minimum if he wants. He's not going to do that, but he's willing to take $20 million less for Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, and Jonas Valanciunas. And Brandon Ingram's better than all three of those guys. So to think if he was willing to do it for those guys, that he's not going to be willing to do it for Brandon Ingram, I don't buy. And then you could potentially free up your full mid-level exception and go get another piece, right? And if it doesn't work, let's say Brandon Ingram doesn't work, you're not winning a championship right now regardless. So either way, you're kind of in the same boat. But Brandon Ingram, you could just let him walk, and then now you got kind of a fresh sheet. Right? And again, LeBron could take whatever. You could clear essentially $60 million off your books. And got guys like Kyrie that might be available in the offseason. Obviously, I don't want to start that buzz yet. We'll talk about that in the offseason. That actually becomes an option. But there's multiple potential moves right here. Or you work out a sign and trade with Brandon Ingram, especially if you have his bird rights. Right? You have the options if you go and get Brandon Ingram. If it works, you re-sign him, give him a new deal, hopefully around $30 million, right? If it doesn't work, then fine. Good luck to you. Hope you find a team that fits. Hope you find a team that wins, right? But if he does work and you do pay him, well, again, LeBron can take whatever you need him to take. He can take $25 million. Now you can, go get the help and go get the other pieces you need, right? Especially if you do win this year, right? Imagine if you go get Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram by himself doesn't solve everything, right? So to me, it's Brandon Ingram plus a Dorian Finney-Smith and, a Day'Ron Sharpe, something like that, right? To where it's okay, now we got, Brandon Ingram, because you can slot Ingram at the 2 if you want, right? Or you could go Dorian Finney-Smith at the 2, however you want to approach it, right? So you could go Reeves, Ingram, Smith, LeBron, and AD. Perfect. Let's go, right? So I do think you need more than that. But let's say you do pull off the trades. Let's say you do get the pieces. Let's say you get Brandon Ingram and, like I said, Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe. Maybe even get a Torrey Craig or something like that. Another cheap option that just adds some value, right? Okay, and then you go out and you win a championship. You don't think LeBron will do whatever he can to try to go get championship number 6? Of course he will. He'll probably take $10 million if he could do that. And no one would knock him because everyone would be like, oh, see, look, he wants to win. I mean, everyone talks about, why does he take a discount if he wants to win right now? So if he takes a discount, of course, you're going to have the people that are like, okay, yes, take a discount. It's one of the damned if you do, damned if you don't. But who cares? If he wins, what's anyone going to say, right? And especially if he can get number 6, I think he would do it, right? But it's starting with the first step. I don't buy that. There's he's not saying that they won't. He's saying that there's no indication. Isn't that what organizations are supposed to do? Not give you any idea of what they're actually going to do, what the plan is, right? If they come out and they're just like, hey, so we're only going to trade for Brandon Ingram, nothing else. That's it. Only Brandon Ingram, right? Like, did I mention we're only going to trade for Brandon Ingram, right? Like, guess what's going to happen, right? Every team in the league knows, and so do the Pelicans. So guess what the Pelicans are going to do? Right? Pelicans are going to be like, all right, well, let's go. Let's jack up the price for Brandon Ingram, right? So you got to kind of, keep as much in-house as possible. But I don't see a scenario where they're not interested in Brandon Ingram. That's just me. Look, I could be completely wrong. That doesn't mean that they're going to trade for Brandon Ingram. Like, I'm not saying that for sure, like, lock it in, they're going to trade for Brandon Ingram. But they got to at least have interest, right? And I'm sure they've asked LeBron and talked to LeBron and AD, like, hey, guys, what do you want? Do you like the idea of Brandon Ingram? Do you not like the idea of Brandon Ingram? Maybe they've said, like, nah, like, I don't know how the fit will be, right? Like, so, let's go elsewhere. Who knows? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion and a past question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Brandon Ingram? Do you hate the idea of Brandon Ingram? Do you stay far away from Brandon Ingram as possible? Kind of mixed in the middle. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.